Back, bitches! Alright, welcome to a new episode of StillerBros at the Movies.
The first of the entire summer season.
That's right, we are going to be doing a lot of these over the next few weeks as summer movie season kicks off.
Starting off tonight, we have the one, the only, well actually the second, but we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2, bitches!
That's right, this movie has been well anticipated since the first one did so well, despite, against all odds, Phil Collins.
Whatever.
But anyway, this movie is going to be great. I've heard, things.
It currently holds a 56% on Rotten Tomato.
But this movie is going to be... I am optimistic. I mean, the first one was good, and we've heard from at least one reviewer that it was better than the first one, but not the perfect movie.
We're not going in expecting the perfect movie. You never do with a superhero movie.
But sometimes it just happens.
Yeah.
I mean, this one, Andrew Garfield's kind of kicking ass lately. I mean, he just put out a video on YouTube of him singing the original Spider-Man theme song and playing guitar, which apparently is incredibly easy to play on the guitar. It's just like a C add 9, I don't know, or something, I don't know, I can't tell, but just by looking at some chords.
Yeah, but this is the first movie of the entire summer. We are going to be putting these out almost every single week for the next 3 months.
Yeah, we've got a lot of movies planned. We've got Transformers 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, what is this, 5? Not in the series, but all together.
This would be the 5th Ninja Turtle movie overall. Next week we already have plans. We're going to be putting out we're going to be doing Neighbors, so keep an eye out for that.
And then we've got a bunch more on the way, so we will check in with you later and then see what happens. What now? I don't know. I just turned the camera on just to wonder because I feel like we are throwing a little too little out between the initial introduction and the actual review. So let's just talk a little bit more about the movie.
Well, we got 20 minutes before the movie starts, so we'll be in there. So we got plenty of time, but
we'd rather not film in the theater because
we don't want somebody to go behind us to think we're bootlegging, and then we get thrown out of a movie theater.
Yeah, so we're just gonna leave the camera in a pocket or something like that.
We don't like to film in the theater itself, in the auditorium. We don't like to film inside the theater because we don't want the employees to get suspicious of us when we vlog. If we vlog in the theater, we don't want anybody to see us in the auditorium and think we're going to bootleg. That's why we always film in the car or out on the street, or in one occasion out on the street, which never actually made it to YouTube.
Yeah, a few videos actually haven't made it of ours for this series haven't made it to YouTube. Maybe one day we'll release them as a lost episodes kind of thing, but for right now they're just sitting on Mason's laptop waiting to be released.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe one day we'll do a lost episodes series for StillerBros at the Movies. But for right now they're just gonna be sitting around. In fact, and they'll basically be old movies at the time because we've got Hunger Games 2 and Saving Mr. Banks. And one more, I think?
Lego Movie.
The Lego Movie, that's right. So we got all those. So those are what we are basically waiting for. So we're just basically gonna wait around. Maybe we'll sit on those for a while. At least, maybe we can at least release the Lego Movie when it comes out on DVD, I don't know.
We'll find out.
We'll do what we can.
I don't even know if I still have the footage for the Lego Movie, honestly.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So we're almost at the theater now, so we should probably shut up and turn off the camera so that we can go inside, because we want to get the concessions and stuff like that before we do anything else.
So we will see you at the end of the movie after we have watched Andrew Garfield kick Jamie Foxx, Paul Giamatti, Dane DeHaan, and many more's asses. This movie is going to be way overstuffed.
Alright guys, we're out of the movie now. That was intense.
Yeah. But, we can't spoil anything for you.
It sucks so much that we can't spoil anything.
Because there's so much we want to talk about. That involves spoilers.
We can't spoil anything.
Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going.
This is the first time I've ever run while vlogging. Alright. I'm gonna get in the car quick.
Where do we begin?
I don't know where to begin.
I think we should start with the one that I thought in the theater. Okay, this is something I want to give recognition for, but I feel like I'm gonna forget about it, so I gotta bring it up right off the bat. The score of this movie was incredible. Hans Zimmer, featuring the Magnificent Six, which is Pharrell's music writing team, whatever you want to call it, and special recognition for for the standout track of the score, in my opinion, Electro's Suite.
Which is an amazing track. I was so blown away by this. It was just a track of vocals.
It was a perfect mix of spoken word, which I can only assume is Pharrell whispering into a microphone very creepily, and it was a perfect mix of orchestral music and dubstep. Dubstep is in this movie, and I feel like it fits because Electro is an electronic-based villain, and hence Electronica's EDM is the perfect music to throw over the top of his super villainy. So, hence, perfect theme song for him.
Alright, so let's go into the performances quick.
Alright. Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield, of course, were perfect because they are a couple in real life. Their chemistry was off the charts.
And of course there was some, one thing I kind of didn't get into was the fact that they kind of got all rom-com with them, but, you know, it's fine. It was perfect for the Gwen and Peter dynamic.
One thing to bring up, Chris Cooper, despite his Chris Cooper and Paul Giamatti, despite their brief appearances, did well. They didn't overbear. Well, Paul Giamatti had to because he's this over-the-top Russian mobster who ends up becoming the Rhino at the end of the movie. So that's how that works.
And of course, Chris Cooper playing the one and only Norman Osborn. Not the Green Goblin in this one. We'll get into that later. But right now, but I think the fact that we had Sally Field's return as Aunt May was great.
They had Dennis Leary come back. He didn't talk. When he did, they just used the footage he had from the original Spider-Man, and he was just standing around for must scenes for a little PTSD thing for Peter.
And it was perfect. And one thing that really needs to be gotten into is, of course, probably one of my favorite performances in this entire film, Dane DeHaan as Harry Osborn, aka the Green Goblin.
I just have to wonder, is Dane DeHaan ever going to play a character whose dad isn't a major dickweed?
That's the role he's good at. I mean, he did so great in Chronicle. I loved Chronicle. It's made me become a huge Max Landis fan of Max Landis, the guy who wrote the screenplay for Chronicle. But I've become a huge fan of Dane just from this performance and his performance in Chronicle alone because he is such an amazing actor. He deserves way more credit than he's gotten. And it looks like he's coming back for Sinister Six, which is very exciting.
Anyway, basically what you can tell from this movie is that none of the villains die because they already pretty much spoiled it by announcing they're making a Sinister Six movie, which, honestly, I don't see how that's going to happen. These are not, if you're going to make a movie about villains, this is not the kind of group you want to make a movie of because these aren't anti-heroes like Venom where you can just write a story where he's a hero fighting off a bad guy, where he's an anti-hero fighting off of something that's more evil than him and he has to do this. So this is the Sinister Six. How are you going to root for them when they're fighting Spider-Man, the guy you've been rooting for the last 2 movies?
Well, the thing is, I'm very excited for Sinister Six, specifically because Drew Goddard, the guy who did Cabin in the Woods and wrote Cloverfield, is writing and directing this movie, and he's very good. I cannot wait to see Daredevil. I can't wait to see Sinister Six. I cannot wait to see everything that all of this is going on. I'm so excited for everything that's going to be happening in this universe. They're expanding into it. And the guys behind us were very into the movie, more than us, in fact, because they were screaming at the screen to why they could not believe the ending or anything about it.
The ending we cannot talk about in this review because that would be spoilers, and this is a non-spoiler review. We only did spoilers once, and that was for Anchorman, and I don't think
they weren't even very spoiler-ish.
Yeah, it was just a list of cameos. But this movie has a bunch of Easter eggs, so I think we should. Oh wait, Jamie Foxx. Let's talk about Jamie Foxx for a minute.
Yes, of course.
He played a character was very this is an interesting take on Electro, because this isn't Electro is got these powers and now he's suddenly trying to control them, but he can't, and now he has to use these, and now he's using these powers because he's scared he can't control them. No, this is Electro. This isn't an Electro that he had no respect as a human. He has very little power. He may even have been a touch schizophrenic, judging by the score, by the aforementioned spoken words section of the score in Electro's Suite. And this is basically, this character is going through an evolution. I kind of agree. Jamie Foxx is kind of unbelievable as the nerdy little guy who just believes if anyone shows the least bit of attention to him, then he will latch onto them. But hey, we didn't ask for. He's not that kind of actor. He started out as a stand-up, and then got roles as the cocky SOB. But as Electro, he just came into his own. He became this powerful monster of a character.
Okay, so I think next we should probably talk about the directing, which Mark Webb, the name alone is perfect enough for a Spider-Man movie. And
I gotta mention this, after the POV shots in Amazing Spider-Man 1, he kind of cut back on those, and instead he thought that the gimmick this time is slow-mo. And
that's good and all. He's a very talented director. Amazing Spider-Man 1 was good enough to show his directing side. And they shot this on film, which I very much enjoy the concept of. I get why people love film so much, but it's expensive. So if you have the money for it, go ahead and do it. I don't care. If you don't have the money, then shoot on digital. I don't care the difference, but they shot on film, which was kind of an interesting choice, but it kind of helped breathe some life into this movie.
Let's see, what else? I want to talk about the plot for a minute, and I feel like it was a little bit overstuffed, because there were times where it would feel like they were trying to make a Spider-Man TV show at times. Like there was 1 minute one plot line was going, and another minute another was going, and there were times where you forgot there was Electro in 1 second, and then you forgot there was a Green Goblin in the next, and it was just a little bit overstuffed, and then there was this whole Peter and Gwen storyline.
I thank God that right now that the Mary Jane storyline was cut completely, because that would have just added way more stuff. But I think Mary Jane in the next movie would be a good move at this point. No spoilers or anything, but it seems like that's where it would be heading right at this point in time, where they have like this thing with Peter and Mary Jane, but and Gwen's in the picture as well with all this, and it would be amazing.
Anyway, what else? What else did we want to? What else? The fight scenes, well choreographed, well executed, and I gotta agree with the reviewers who gave it mixed reviews. This movie was overstuffed in plot, but well acted, well fought in battle scenes, and this special effects. Of course, why would you go lowbrow special effects for a movie about a guy swinging around in the streets of New York, fighting giant robots and flying 20-year-olds, flying psychotic 20-year-olds, and electromagnetic Jamie Foxxes?
Yeah, so that's our kind. I think I'm out of things to talk about, really. I talked about everything I want to talk about. What about you?
I think I hit every bullet point I wanted to talk about. So, yeah, I think we should just put a rating on this puppy and put it in the can.
Okay, so I was going to give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm going to actually go one lower, 6 out of 10, because I just remembered another bullet point. I was taking 1 point off of this because of the TV spots pun, where Harry asks, "So what have you been up to lately?" And Peter says, "What? A little bit of web design." That pun cost this movie a point. I don't care. I feel like this movie did with puns what Batman and Robin tried with comedy, what Batman and Robin tried to do about 20 years ago, but it executed it a little better, because the puns worked a lot better. It wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger walking around going, "It's time the Gotham will free," or Adam and evil, or I can't think of any of the Schwarzenegger puns right now. So
I want to point out quick that that the bit you are bad mouthing at this point did not even make it into the final movie.
yeah, but I'm still taking a point. Okay, I was still gonna give it 6 out of 10. I just forgot that whole thing.
Okay, whatever. So anyway, that's our review. Thanks so much for watching. You guys will be seeing more of us sooner or later. And one quick thing before we go about this movie: stay through the credits, because there is in fact something cross studios, cross universes about this credit scene.
It is not a sign for things to come, of course, because Mark Webb signed a deal with Fox, agreeing to this particular thing where he would do this for free in exchange for I don't remember what. So yeah, don't expect a crossover between these two universes anytime soon, because let's face it, they've already shot down an Avengers team up, an Avengers Spidey team up. Why would they go with this one? But anyway, subscribe if you're new here, like and favorite this video, and
leave a comment down below if you liked it. Tell us about what you thought of Spider-Man 2. No spoilers in the comments section, or else you are a Nazi.
Spoil. All right, and so yeah, everyone have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow.